After 9/11, I knew I wanted to serve. I served my 4 years in the U.S. Army. Did a year and a half in Iraq as a forward observer for the U.S. Artillery. I loved every one of the soldiers I served with there, still do. Has carried on to what I do now as a veteran of foreign wars service officer, helping my fellow vets. When I got out of the military, it was chaos. Worked 2 jobs at a time just to support myself. I was moving from place to place every year until I put my act together to go back to college to get my associate's degree. That was around the time when I would start getting debt collection calls from third parties that I did not recognize.
Brian came to us after he was served with a summons for court. A third-party debt collector was pursuing him for an old debt, and he didn't recognize what the debt was for. And a third-party debt collector is a company decides they can't collect a debt, and they write it off on their taxes, and then they sell it to another multi-million-dollar company for cents on the dollar. And then that other company tries to collect that debt. Working with Brian, we were able to determine that they weren't able to provide the evidence sufficient to prove the case. Just by asking them to try to prove it, they weren't able to do that, and we were able to get the case dismissed.
Scammers see veterans as targets. If you're receiving these harassing debt collection calls, don't feel like you're being pushed in a corner. Don't isolate. There are services out there.
We often tell veterans to request proof of the debt. This is called a validation letter. We would suggest that people, if they're getting contacted by debt collectors, to not ignore it and look into the resources available through agencies such as the FTC